This is Peak of the Week number 1 with Aloras, the director of the movie La Llama de la Memoria, The Flame of Memory, the testimony of Davi Galante. A wonderful documentary, and we'll be able to watch it soon, I hope. And here we at PIIF, we have this informal prize, we call it Peak of the Week. It's a movie that in some way has touched the hearts and minds of our team. And we are very happy to have here with us Aloras, the director of this wonderful movie. First, about the structure. How did you make this film?
It's a film that has been made during edition, during the process of edition. I wanted to have that testimony so strong in film because I thought it was worth to show. After having this testimony recorded, I came home and then I started to realize that was so substantious that it was meant to be a film.
The music and the sound, all the sound design plays a very interesting, strong part in the filmmaking. Can you talk about that a little bit?
It was that my brother, he's a known musician in Argentina, composer. He has already made music for other films. And we discussed about the approach of the music, and he thought first that he would work with analog synthesizers. So there was a lot of factors that conceptually were already framing the music of the film. He did an astonishing work, melting sound with image. I really think it's half of the film. We know that films are sound and image. Maybe we could say in documentary, it's not mandatory sometimes in the documentary form.
Was it like a homegrown, a homemade, almost kind of film with great quality, but with how can I say, with a short, with a not great structure?
Yes, it's actually a film that I did myself. That's more or less the truth. I mean, I took care of every instance of the film. I took care of sound and image and edition and everything, the voiceover and the post-production and everything. So it was a job that I did all myself, sometimes simultaneously.
In the beginning of the movie, you show the picture of some presidents. There is this the title of the newspaper, something like do we live in a world full of Trump-like presidents?
Exactly.
And then it's a reflection about fascism, Nazism. I want to talk what motivated you to put this story alive.
Exactly. It's as you said, it's a contemporary problem, a conflict. This one that Galante is talking about. It's not that I even looked for it. When, for example, this thing that you mentioned in the very beginning of the film, I'm going to work, and in the screen of the bus where they screen news, you would see during this morning that the party, one of the third party that won the elections in Sweden, the third party had in its lines previous Nazi members. The return of this extremely dangerous mentality.
It's a man in the end of his time in this world, in the present, talking about his past to prevent us from what can happen in the future. When you saw the testimony of Davi Galante, his story, did you see that coming? Did you see that the story was going on that way? And I'm not going to spoil the movie, but time played a major role in it.
I thought that was already a main subject to be talking about because of this situation that I'm mentioning. So I'd say I thought it was urgent, that was relevant, that was the problem of our time.
Did you drop all your projects to run after this sense of urgency about this story? Did you have other things happening and coming, then when you saw that said, oh my God, I need to do this right now?
Más o menos, it was more or less like that, because I had already started the project, which was going to be my first documentary, actually, which I can tell you what it's about. But I was already into a project for a couple of months. Then I traveled to Sweden because I live in Sweden, where I work. Here I work painting, and this is the way I have to pay all the equipment and to pay the journeys and the films. So I afford the films myself with my own work. So I go to Argentina in this case, and I work with something. Then I come back to Sweden. I have to work to get more money to complete the film. So when in one of those journeys was that in the morning I read this article about David, and yes, I had to put on hold this other project, also very interesting. But David by then was 95-year-old, something like that, lucid. He was full of energy and willing to tell his story. So that was also a matter of an urgency. I wanted to have it there and not waste any time with that. So I stopped working for the month that I had to work with the film, and then come back to Sweden. And while I worked, then in my free hours after work, I would work with the film and the weekends and so. So I kind of managed to have everything going on.
Rod Aloras, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for submitting your fantastic film to PIIF Prague International Indie Film Festival. This is our second year, and we hope to have great movies like yours. In September, we wait for you here in Prague to our screening and our gala edition.
I will be there. I won't miss it. I love Prague. I have the chance of being there a couple of times. I have to make a new visit to Kafka Museum. I heard there's some new material at hand, and I just want to be there with you and keep on enjoying this adventure. It's me that I'm thankful, really. I'm totally grateful about this opportunity and everything that you are building up for us.
All right, thank you very much. And watch the next interviews in Pick of the Week.